Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing really well today. I'm so excited to come to you this week with a new series that I literally am on the edge of my seat about. I'm going to give you the backstory and then we're going to jump into it. Several months ago, I came across a message by Louis Giglio that said 7 supernatural thoughts. And I really appreciate Louis. I think he's a great preacher, and I think he's an excellent communicator. And so I just clicked on the message and listened to it. And before long, I found myself in tears, like the message was speaking directly into my heart. And the premise of the message is that there are certain thoughts that we have to plant that are supernatural, that are God-sized kind of thoughts, that we have to plant those into our life that are, based upon biblical truth. And that as we plant those thoughts, they take root and they give us purpose and direction and a sense of peace and hope, but they also will jettison out thoughts that are not of God, thoughts that are maybe there because of our circumstances of life, maybe our flesh believes these thoughts, maybe the enemy has planted that thought, maybe somebody else has planted the thought, these thoughts that are not in line with God and His Word. And so I started listening to this message actually multiple times. It's very unusual for me to listen to a message more than once, but I have probably listened to this particular message on 7 supernatural thoughts 10 or 12 times, and I've taken notes on it multiple times. I've done additional study on each of these thoughts. I've actually written the list of these 7 thoughts in multiple journals. I've put it on note cards. I've taken them with me, and there has been a renewing of my mind through looking at these 7 thoughts. And it's not that any one of these thoughts is new to me, because certainly they are not. But when you put them all together, there is a power and a profound impact when we are walking through the daily of life and experiencing maybe hardship or trial or trouble or difficulty, or maybe a sense of complacency. Or, as you know, I've just been in this season of reset and refocus. These particular thoughts have given purpose and direction to my life and to the meaning of my life. And so what I'm going to do this week is something so unusual. I'm going to share these 7 supernatural thoughts with you and put my words around them, and then how I've applied them to my life. And so I'm so excited to share these with you. I will post the link to the sermon in case you want to go and to hear the sermon in full. It is truly for me, one of the most powerful messages I have ever heard. And so I say that with a lot of humility, because I've heard a lot of messages, but this one just met me at a particular point in my walk and has been so life-giving. And so let's jump into these 7 supernatural thoughts. We're going to look at one a day, and I'm going to try to keep my videos around 6 minutes or less. Okay, the very first thought that we need to plant into the very fabric of our lives, we need to know this truth, we need to live this truth, we need to share this truth, is that we are in God's story. We have to remember that life did not begin with us, and that life does not revolve around us. And so we can go back to the very beginning in the book of Genesis, where it says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And then on into Genesis, we see where God created the man and the woman, and He breathed life into the man. And now the man became a living being. When we have this supernatural thought planted into the very fabric of our lives, that we know that we are in God's story, a story that began before creation and has no end, a story that is about God, that is to God, that is for God, that is through God, then it helps us to have our rightful place and the right perspective in everything about our life. You know that I am adopted, and so much of my life has been shaped by my view of adoption. I have to know that my life is not defined by adoption. My life is defined by God. Maybe you have, a struggle in your life. Maybe you have a situation or a circumstance in your life, and you've allowed that situation and that circumstance to define you. This reminder, this supernatural truth, this powerful truth that we are in God's story helps us to get our eyes off of ourselves and our eyes on God and the things of eternity. So today, as you're living out your time here on this earth, remember that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, that He has created you, and that He's invited you into His story, a story that is a powerful story of redemption that began before creation and it has no end, and you are right in the middle of it and have the opportunity to leverage your life for His glory. Have a great day.